Hi, thanks for coming in today. Of course, you know I'm Dr. Kelker, and while you're waiting, I want to go over some of these papers with you so that we can optimize your time here. We actually need you to rest a few minutes before we get your blood pressure and your heart rate and your respiratory rate, so let's make sure that time is put to good use. So I have papers here today that you should have in your hand that I want you to look at. We also are giving you the patches today, and you'll have a package of patches that looks like this. So let's zoom in on those for a minute. So on here, you'll see your name and address are on the bag of patches that you've been assigned to. And here it says, keep all packaging, including the white backing sheets, these papers here that the patches are stuck to. And we want you to bring everything back. Everything except the actual patches that you have worn. And the patches will look like this. Everybody's patches are white, and there's 30 in here all together. There's 5 sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 sheets with 6 on them, so that's 30 all together. And we don't want you to open them until you get home. Now the actual patch from the company, if you weren't in the study, you'd be getting patches that look like this. And eventually you will get some patches that look like this, a couple months worth. But for now, your patches will be these white ones. And the bags are similar, so you can see that there is a zip place to pull open at the top. And then you would take them out. It's kind of hard to open. There we go. You would just take them out. You don't really even need to take them all the way out. These patches have a clear backing, but your patches have a white backing. And each day you will wash the area. You can get a shower or you can just wash it and put it on an area that we'll talk about. Let's say over the biceps or the deltoid for now. So we make sure it's clean and dry. And then you'll just take off one patch. Take off the patch and stick it on. Maybe press on it for a minute to warm it up a little bit better so it sticks it a little bit better. And that's it. And then you'll put the patches, the rest of the patches back in there and zip them to keep them very dry, and then keep these at all times with your notebook and your other study materials. So I anticipate that you may have some questions, and I want to go over all the ones I can think of now, and you're free to ask more questions later. In fact, I want you to. We will take a picture of this. This is the first page that you'll be looking at, and actually you can look at it as we go through it. This is the subject calendar for the Thrive Safety study. And the patch use directions are on the front, and you can read through them, and I'm going to read through them with you, and I may comment on them if I need to add a little bit. So under patch use, it says every day clean and dry an area of skin, preferably in a lean area free of excess hair. So by lean, that means overlying a muscle, which could be the biceps through here, or the triceps, or the deltoid, or even the back of the shoulder. And if you have to, you could use the upper buttocks or possibly the anterior thigh, but you want to put them somewhere that they're not going to get rubbed off by your clothing. Okay, number 2, apply a new patch at approximately the same time each day. Now that could be in the morning, like most people get up in the morning and go to work or something, so you could get a shower in the morning, put it on in the morning. But if you want to, or if you have a different work schedule, you could put it on in the middle of the day, or maybe you work nights, you could put it on before you go to work at night. It makes most sense to put it on at the beginning of the waking hours of your day. So for most people that would be in the morning. I know some people work night shifts, so that could be in the evening. But you want the patch to be most active when you're awake, not when you're sleeping. So put it on at the beginning of your day. And you would peel off one patch from the white plastic backing and press the adhesive side onto the prepared skin. I think that's self-evident, but only one side sticks, and put that side on your skin. and then you'll leave that patch on for up to 24 hours, and at least while you're awake. If you get a shower before you go to bed at night, then you could take the patch off then. I'm not sure if the patch will stay on during a shower, but preferably 24 hours, or at least when you're awake. And you don't want to put the patch on exactly the same spot every day. For example, I have this patch here right now. Well, I don't want to put tomorrow's patch on exactly the same spot. You'd want to either rotate arms, so here today, here tomorrow, or move the patch up to a different spot. But just like a Band-Aid might irritate your skin, if you put it there at the same time for 24 hours a day for a month, you don't want to put this on the same spot all the time. Okay, so that's easy enough. The next part, if you look down, you'll see where it says patch with a question mark and yes or no. And that goes along with the calendar, which you'll see right here. And the calendar, we want you to mark every day. So we give a little sample there on this page, and you'll need to mark it every day. So the things that you'll be marking are whether you wear the patch, so it says patch, Y, or N. Y means yes, N means no, so if you put the patch on, circle Y. And we're giving you an ink pen to go with this, so we know you'll have an ink pen. We prefer ink to pencil because, of course, pencil could be erased. So hopefully you'll circle Y every day, but if you happen to forget, just circle N for no. The next thing would be whether you have a problem with the patch. And here it says Y or N. Now it isn't really exactly a problem with the patch, it's any problem at all. For example, if on a certain day you get headaches, well, maybe that's from the patch, and maybe it's because you got hit on the head, or it could be something else. So under problem, if you have no health problems and you're just the same way you always are, you would circle no. Like me, I'm a little bit stuffy. Well, I'm always a little bit stuffy, so I would circle no because I'm always this way. But if, for example, my nose started bleeding, that's not typical for me, so that would be yes. And then it says specify, so I would specify nosebleed. And then the next thing to decide is it related to the patch or not related to the patch? Or maybe you're not sure. Again, so if I got a nosebleed and it just came on out of the blue, well, I probably would not be sure. If I got a nosebleed because somebody hit me in the nose, well, I'm pretty sure that's not from the patch, so I would put it's not related. So if you are pretty sure that it's related to the patch, you'd mark patch related. If you're pretty sure that it's not related to the patch, mark it's not patch related. Now if you just have no idea, just mark unsure. And you may not know. Problems that are definitely related to the patch are considered side effects. Problems that are not related to the patch, or probably not related to the patch, are considered adverse events, and we wouldn't want to blame that on the patch. And then sometimes you just don't know again, and we wouldn't call that a side effect, we'd call it an adverse event, but maybe it's related to the patch, maybe not. So you would mark the calendar, and I'll go over that with you some here. Here's the calendar, and this starts with the week that you're here. So the people who start the first week are starting December 8th. That would be at the top of the calendar. But the people who are starting the next week, which would be December 15th, your calendar will look a little different because the 15th would be moved up to the top. And then we will mark which day you're starting on. For example, if you start on Monday, we'll put a 1 here because that would be day 1. But if you're starting on Thursday, then that would be day 1. And we'll mark the rest of those. So we will also, when you're talking to me later, we'll fill out this one sample day 1 here, just to make sure you understand it completely. And then going back to the first page, I know on the calendar there's not much room to say what the problem is, so if you need more room, write it back on the first page and put the date on there and describe what happened. And of course, we need this information back. This is vital to the study. This is a real big part of the study, so we absolutely need you to bring these papers back and to mark the calendar every day. So I want you to read through this and think of any questions you may have when I actually talk to you later. You can write your questions down if you'd like, and we'll go over that. Also, the next page that you have is all the problems I could think of that might happen. As I mentioned to many of you, I did a study on a similar patch years ago, and some of the questions are from problems people had before, like what if the patch doesn't stick? So this is pretty self-explanatory, and the first one does say, what if the patch doesn't stick? Well, if it doesn't stick, it's probably because your skin may not be dry enough, or you may have put some lotion on there, or maybe you have some natural skin oil, or maybe it's a defective patch. So the first thing to do would be to clean your skin really well, dry it well, and if that patch doesn't stick, try another patch. And if none of your patches stick, you need to call us and we'll get you some new patches. That would be the first one. Or what if the patch falls off? Well, if it falls off because it's not sticking, again, try to clean your skin, or maybe try a new patch and make sure it sticks. Or maybe your clothes just caught it and it fell off. So if you need to, you can try a new patch, and if you're having lots of trouble with your patches sticking, of course you're going to run out sooner. And we're only giving you 30 of them, and for everybody it's between 28 and 30 days when you come back. So if you're using up extra patches, you might run out. So then you need to call us to get some extra patches. Now what if you forget to put the patch on? Well, nobody has perfect memory, and maybe Christmas morning you're going to forget to put the patch on. But hopefully you'll remember. That's one reason we want you to try to do it every day, like when you brush your teeth or something like that. But if you forget to apply the patch, then do circle no on the calendar that you didn't apply the patch. Also, what if you're going to get wet either by bathing or going swimming? You might try to keep the patch on through that, but I don't know for sure if it would stick. If it won't stick and it falls off, again, just use a new patch. If you're going to go swimming all day, like you're going to Florida for Christmas vacation or something, you could try putting a patch on, but if it won't stay on when it's wet, just put it on when you're done swimming. Now what if you lose your patches? We hope you don't lose your patches because this is part of the study, but if you do misplace them somehow, or you go on a trip and they get lost in your luggage or whatever, call the office so we can get you some new ones. Also, the notebook we want you to bring with you every time that you come. And if you happen to misplace your notebook, we want to get you a new one. So again, call the office and Sandy will get you whatever you need. Now, if you have a side effect, like every time you put the patch on you get a terrible rash, and you really don't think you should continue with the patch, that's okay, but you need to let us know. Everybody knows this is a study for the safety of the patch. And so if you're getting something like a bad rash, let us know, and that's a case where I might want to take a picture of that. And if you have a problem with the patch or the study or anything related at any time, call the office when we're here. And if you need to, you can call me on my number. It's given there, my cell phone number. But if it's just a minor thing, make sure you call during the day. And if you have a medical problem that's unrelated, like you think you're having a heart attack, go to the ER, call 911, call your regular doctor, or do something. Okay, by now Sandy would have given you this second set of papers, and this doesn't take as long to go over. The first one, the purple one, says special notice, very important. This has to do with there are people in the study who know each other, and as you know, this is a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. That means that none of us know which patch you have, and we want to keep it that way. Now, the patches were made as similar as possible, but there might be some slight differences. And so we don't want you to discuss anything about the patch with anybody else, like not how it feels, not how it smells, not how it looks, not anything. Especially not if you know somebody else in the study, like we have some couples, husband and wife, or some sisters or church members or friends or whatever. Don't talk about it. This says don't talk about it with anybody, especially not another study participant. Don't compare how it looks with anybody else's patch. Your patch is yours, theirs is theirs. Keep it a secret. And don't put it on when anybody else is around. Even kids might look at a patch and say something like, well, I think Daddy's patch looks different. We can't have any of that going on, so just keep it private. And if you think you're having any problems, if it's serious, call the office. But otherwise, just don't talk about it, especially not with other people in the study. And then again, when you come back next time, we want you to bring everything back. The baggie, you don't have to bring this little part you tore off at the top, but bring the baggie and all these white backing papers with you. And if you have a few extra patches still sticking on there, bring those too. After you've used the first 6 patches, then you'll have an empty white piece of plastic. Just put that back in there and just keep it in there and bring it all back with you. I hope I've said that clearly. Bring it all back. And of course, you need to bring back that calendar, the calendar papers. Those first couple papers that we showed you, the calendar, and then the other page 1 that says additional information. You need to bring that back. And then the last paper that you have today is the appointments and instructions page. We again thank you for coming. Your appointment in January will be the same as we already scheduled, or if you changed it, make sure you check with Sandy. Always bring your notebook like we said. You're getting your blood work done today and the next time too, so come in fasting. Again, that is, don't eat or drink anything before you come, but you can have water or black coffee or tea. Also, I think you got this in your letter. You can take your pills, in particularly, we want you to take your blood pressure pills. The diabetic medicines you probably shouldn't take till after you come in and get your blood drawn. Other medicines you can take if you can just take them with water. The next time you come in, you'll also get 60 days of active patch. So we'll talk about that more later. We're going to weigh you next time, so it'd be good to weigh you in about the same clothes that you're wearing today, the same or similar. And then a word about diet. This part of the study is focusing primarily on side effects, but we do want you to try to follow a healthy diet, and I put a definition of a healthy diet on there, which would be 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, and not too much in the way of fats or oils or fried food or red meat, and limit sugar and white flour and bread and white rice and white potatoes and desserts. Basically, if you like it, if it's good, don't eat it. Just eat healthy. And then exercise. We want you to walk 30 minutes a day or the equivalent. That could be biking, it could be going up and down the steps, it could be heavy-duty housework, but try to exercise 30 minutes a day. Lastly, the part you may have been waiting for, Sandy will give you a check for $25 as soon as you go back up to the front office, and she'll have you sign one of our forms just to say that we gave that to you, so we can keep track of that. So, I know that action went over 10 minutes, but it'll save me and you a little time later, but I do want you to ask any questions that you have later when I talk to you. So that's it. Have fun. Talk to you later.